ESPN had posted that post-combine in the 2024 mock draft, he is now projected to go at 54th with the Boston Celtics. How does that look on him? Now, LeBron James obviously has never played with... I don't remember. Yes, sir. So obviously, LeBron James has never played for the Boston Celtics. He's been a nemesis of theirs on Cleveland and a nemesis of theirs by being on LA, right? The LA-Boston rivalry, even though it hasn't been so major in recent years. If we look at the draft board, however, the Boston Celtics obviously have the 58th pick, like we said, but it puts him right within the range of the Golden State Warriors, which, when all of the news was coming up about him entering this draft and trying to find a good home for him, the first thing that I said was, I don't know if he'll end up there, but a place that I see him calling home could be the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, some people might have been like, why? What the fuck? Da. They have Steph Curry, who can take Bronny James under his wing. Right? Steph Curry has always been an undersized player. USC had Bronny James listed at 6'4", when in reality, he's 6'1.5". He obviously has greater physical tools than Steph Curry, but showing him how to navigate the NBA, how to make shots at his size. I've always said that at this age, at the same age, he's already a better shooter than LeBron James was. LeBron James was just a super confident player, and the Golden State Warriors can build him up to be an NBA player. And on the other side of it, the Golden State Warriors and LeBron have always sort of flirted with this idea of LeBron joining the Warriors. It could be a media-driven thing. Every time Steph and LeBron are seen talking after a game, or every time LeBron is with Draymond, the narrative starts, right? And in terms of a fit, a three-point shooting team, LeBron, I can see him fitting in it, but he is also a ball-dominant player. He has been his whole career, right? Which would shift that entire offense. But yeah, it's interesting. He's Bronny has fallen to 54. He's been getting a lot of unnecessary hate from a lot of people, when the reality is he hasn't had the luxury of going through this process without a million eyes on him. Right? If he wasn't LeBron's son, would he even really be in this draft, or would he just be going into his second year trying to get better because of the cardiac arrest that happened last season? The thing about Bronny, though, I will say, from his responses to some of the questions, he seems like he's a mentally tough kid. You could credit that to having had to deal with LeBron's shadow his whole life. He's named after him, playing the same sport as him, right? I'm sure teammates, opponents, opposing crowds in high schools, and if anyone's been to high school, we've all been there. Those kids are fucking ruthless. And I'm sure that he's built tough skin at this point of his life. So if you're an NBA team looking for a kid that's mature already, you would look for a player like Bronny, right? I'm sure LeBron's conversations with him have been about the NBA. Truthfully, I think his game will probably end up translating better in the NBA. The thing I worry about is his size. He's always looked like a smaller player, right? But his mentality, right? He said very casually, I've always wanted to be in the NBA. Not necessarily playing with my dad was my dream. He said this. He said, he's kind of mentioned it. Basically saying that this whole narrative of playing with LeBron it was never him. It's always come from LeBron, which is what I said in the beginning. This is for LeBron's legacy. This doesn't do anything for Bronny, who's now trying to make his own path. Comparisons to players like Jrue Holiday and Derek White, which are great players, don't get me wrong. And now people are saying, "Oh my God, look at him. He's being realistic. Everyone in the NBA can't be a star." Absolutely, that's a fact. However, it is different to hear someone that's not shooting for the stars. They're just shooting to get out of the atmosphere. Yeah, if you shoot for the stars, maybe you won't end up there, but we'll see how you fall. You go through that process, right? But it's as if he's not looking for more, right? He just wants to get to the NBA and be one of the guys, instead of that mentality of, I can be a dominant player, right? That's how you get role players like a Jamal Crawford back in the day, who's, obviously he's not the number one option, closes out games, hits big shots, super confident player, right? Derek White, who's, who he did compare himself to, has worked himself to be a really confident player, taking big shots in key situations, right? It's just, I wish he kind of just looked a little bit ahead, and instead of just kind of putting himself in a box. He could end up as Jrue Holiday, but he could have shot for someone better. And it's just like a mentality thing, right? Maybe teams will like that. I'm sure an NBA team will like the fact that a player is cool with settling as a role player and just being one of the guys. I'm sure the NBA team would like that.